Hi, welcome to the fifth and last video in the 5-video series about audio-visual content creation. In the last video, we discussed how to distribute your content on different platforms, and we learned about how to promote and advertise your videos across social media pages. And in this video, I'll explain how to build your community, manage it, and grow organically. Growing organically on social media. The key is consistency. The key to success on social media is to show up every day, so you can compete with all the millions of other posts that are posted daily. To do so, you should commit to consistently deliver your content following a clear schedule. For example, if you promise your audience to post on Sundays and Thursdays, then you should make sure to commit to following your schedule, as this way will help you build your trust and connection with your audience. And they're more likely to watch your content when they're waiting for it and they know exactly when you're going to post. So if you're posting at 6 p.m. on Sundays, at 6 p.m. they will be expecting a notification from you. For instance, I have two friends who started posting videos on YouTube starting 2016. And in 2016, one of my friends promised his audience to post his videos each Friday at 1 p.m. till today. However, the other friend didn't stick to a regular schedule and started posting his videos whenever he feels like it. Now, 4 years forward, the first friend has over 1 million followers on YouTube, and the second friend has over 300,000 followers. That shows the level of commitment put in creating content, and having a clear schedule to when your audience should expect your content makes a big difference. Now his audience wait each Friday for his content to be posted so they can watch it. This clearly shows the power of consistency on social media. And the second friend who didn't post regularly on YouTube is me. Another way to grow your audience is to introduce incentives and competitions. From time to time, your audience would love to join an online competition to win something. Not only will it increase the engagement rate on your page, but it will also get you more followers. For example, 2 months ago, I launched a competition where I had camera accessories that I was willing to give away for 2 people. So I asked my followers to go on my Instagram and comment on the last picture I posted. And in the comments, they should tag a friend that they want to win as well. As a result, a lot of my followers on YouTube went to Instagram to follow me and comment. So my Instagram is not big compared to YouTube, and I usually get between 20 to 30 comments per post. However, in this specific post, I got over 23,000 comments with people tagged in them. This also resulted in increasing my followers on Instagram and the engagement rate and likes on my posts. So make sure that every now and then you launch a competition and ask your followers to tag their friends and comment and engage on your posts. And if your present is really attractive to your followers, I can guarantee really good results. Now, let's move on to managing your community. And that's the best part, where you virtually connect directly with your community. The key to success here is to be accessible and very responsive. By being accessible is to always have access to your inbox and emails, and make sure to reply to their inquiries and questions as quickly as possible. And by being responsive is to always engage in the comment section. Audience get more attached to a brand, organization, or initiative when you connect with them individually on a personal level. A like or a comment to their comment could make their day. And believe it or not, some of your audience would comment just to see a notification from you that you replied to their comment or liked it. Especially after a campaign or advertising your post or working with an influencer like we mentioned in the last video, you might find a huge number of new users and new followers on your pages. And it could be a lot harder to engage with your community and reply to all their messages and comments. Thus, you might need to find a community manager volunteer to help you manage it, as it could take a lot of time. They can deal with all the comments, messages, phone calls, emails, delete abusive comments, and maybe block some abusive users. Since we mentioned abusive comments and users, then how to protect yourself mentally from this abusive content? Unfortunately, it is inevitable. Online users will keep posting offensive comments and abusive language, which could definitely harm our mental health. The truth is that you can never completely stop it, but you should accept it as a normal online behavior, and you can always avoid it from harming you. And here's how. First, you're not required to engage with such behaviors. Each platform has the option to completely block and report the sender. Also, you should know that there are 2 types of negative feedbacks, either abusive or constructive. If it's abusive, then you should directly block, report the sender. However, if there's constructive and polite feedback, even if you don't agree with the sender, then you should take the time to reply and explain your point of view. And most importantly, do not take it personally. The negative feedback that they gave is on the content that they consumed and not personal. In my case, it took some time to build my own mental immunity against abusive comments from affecting my mental health. If my brain senses abusive comments, I would automatically ignore it and directly go and block and report the sender. Honestly, it took some time to learn this technique, but it keeps me sane. Most importantly, you should reply equally to negative comments as much as you do for positive ones. Believe it or not, it's a lot tempting to reply to someone who shared thoughts against your beliefs than replying to someone who shared the same way of thinking as you. Moving on to using metrics to measure your success rate on social media. Metrics indicate your progress in achieving your goals. And all the major social media platforms made it easy for us to track our success, engagement levels, demographics, and many other metrics to better measure our campaigns and create our reports. There are a few key metrics that you should focus on. First, understanding the reach and impression. Reach or impression is how many times your content was placed in front of your audience while they were scrolling. But don't get confused between video impressions and video views, because views is the number of times your audience clicked and watched a video. So obviously the impression rate would be a lot higher than the view rate, because not all of the users will click on the video after they see the thumbnail. And that's why, as we mentioned in the previous video, by creating a really attractive thumbnail would increase the number of views compared to impressions. Next, when creating video content, you should focus on retention rate. Retention rate is how long the video holds your viewer before moving on. Do they watch the first minute and then move on to the next video, or they watch half of the video, or do they watch the whole video? The longer they watch the video, the higher the minutes viewed per video, the higher the platform recommends this video. So make sure to skip boring content or irrelevant parts of the video to increase the chance where your audience would complete watching the video. On the retention rate graph, look for the drop-off and determine where you should tweak your videos for better results. Moving on to measuring engagement. Engagement is mostly divided into clicks, comments, likes, and shares. The higher the engagement, the higher the platform would recommend your video, the higher views you will get per video. So make sure to engage with the viewers and ask them to comment and share their thoughts. Demographics could be helpful to understand who are watching your videos, where they're from, which cities do they live in, their age group, and maybe you're interested to know the percentages of males and females who are watching your video. And after measuring your success, track and analyze reports to determine what works and what doesn't. By analyzing the reports, you should understand what areas that need improvement. For example, you might notice that there's a lot of impression but very low number of views. Maybe then you need to work on your thumbnails or titles. Also, in the reports, you can determine what performs well. In that way, you would know what works best and then start to producing similar content. Then moving on to the last part, which is general tips and tricks that would help you perform well and grow on social media. First, you need to discover the best practice and experiment. List your competitors locally and internationally. Study their approach and style in making content, marketing their objectives, and how they manage multiple accounts on different platforms. See who is succeeding and why. And it is okay to copy few approaches that would work best for you, but you should develop it and optimize it to fit your identity. Another way that could give you a quick push is to consider collaborating with related organizations and projects, as it could be very beneficial for both of you, as each of you will show up on each of your social media accounts, which will help increase your followers and engagement. Share followers from here and there. You should pay attention to the length of the video. It differs from a platform to another, but usually the first 1 to 2 minutes get the highest viewership, then it drops. Thus, make sure to get to the point as quickly as possible and attract their attention before your viewer swipes away. Another question that you might have is when to post. Of course, it depends on the type of videos, your audience, and time zones. But in order to find out, you should experiment. Maybe post at 1 p.m., 6 p.m., 9 p.m. and see what works best depending on the day of the week. Also, you can use heat maps to determine when is the most active time and day of the week. Now, don't be afraid to ask your followers to share your posts and subscribe. A lot of them forget or it doesn't cross their mind to share or comment or tag their friends, which will help you build your followers. And then lastly, consider going live and connect directly with your audience. You can host a webinar or Q&A sessions. And by the way, the audience love Q&A sessions. So make sure to go live maybe once a week to discuss things with your audience and then reply to their questions and their concerns. And it is important because live videos get 6 times more interactions compared to regular videos. And lastly, I hope this video series about video content creation was beneficial. I hope you learned a lot about how to create content, how to plan it and produce it, and then how to market it and reach all your audience, and most importantly, build your audience from scratch. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to send me on my email any of your questions and I'll be more than happy to reply to all of them. My name is Ahmad Mohsen. Thank you very much and have a great day.